Well, delighted to say Doug is joining us, first of the victims for the week. Thank you very much, Doug. Now,
No problem.
Let's first of all reflect on what the World Cup meeting has meant to you. It's been one of frustration, I think, over the years, and looking for that first elusive World Cup winner at the meeting.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say so much frustration. It's always nice to have horses in it, but, we are dying to get a winner, yes.
So, this year, would you describe your team as the strongest team you've been able to put together for the meeting?
I would say top to bottom it is. We've had some nice runners on World Cup night before, but, top to bottom, there's some nice horses that we're running.
Okay, well, let's pick out some of them. When I was looking through the form, the one that stands out, of course, has come from Argentina, Cuptado, who's going in the UAE Derby.
Yeah.
Explain a little bit about the background, how you got the horse, and what your expectations are.
I'm trying not to get too high on the expectations. I just don't know how he'll handle the Tapeta on the night, but he's come over. He's had a nice season in Argentina, and he's done everything we've asked him to do since we got him. He's very fresh and well. He had his last piece of work this morning and did that well, and seems very fit and ready to go. It's all a matter of how he likes the Tapeta on the night, I believe. You can work on it, and you think they like it, but until they get down and have to let themselves down and race on it, you're not quite sure. But he's in really good form, and he has some nice form behind him in Argentina, so we're looking forward to him.
He's won on the dirt there, but presumably it's not like the Tapeta, is it?
No, I don't think there's anything like the Tapeta, to be honest with you. But I think turf horses have done well on it. He's run well in Group 1s on the turf. In their equivalent, what they call the South American Arc de Triomphe. He ran against older horses and ran third. I can never say the name of the race, so but he's just a nice horse, and like I said, since we got him in the middle of February, and he's done everything right since.
So expectations, it's a sort of shot into the dark almost.
It is very, very much so. I mean, I wouldn't know how to tell you. I wouldn't be able to tell you how he's going to run exactly, but I know he's well in himself, and he's sound, and seems very happy, eating everything, and if he likes the Tapeta, he can run a huge race. If he doesn't, I still think he'll run a good race, but just not quite sure.
Going to the Godolphin Mile, Lemario, we talked to you before you came in here. You were smiling about the prospects of this horse.
Well, I like his future. If I had it probably to do over, I would have run him in the Hatta on Super Saturday. We lost it. We only got him at about the beginning of December. He was bought out of the ARC sale, and he took a while to come around. And when he did start coming around, he popped an abscess in the hind foot, and that took another 10 days off his schedule. So, but since then, I've really never seen a horse, and we've had a lot of horses come in from Europe and America. I've never seen him acclimatize and move forward as quickly as he did. I felt we were a couple works short running in the Maktoum Challenge, but it was about the last chance we had to run in the carnival to try to get him on World Cup night. Since the race, he's done extremely well. He just worked out there this morning with me, Andre, and worked very well. And I think he has the pace for a mile. I think probably his optimum trip is 9-10 furlongs, but if with a good draw and we know he likes the surface, he could run a big race for us.
You sound quietly confident if the dice comes right.
If the dice go right, yeah. I'm confident that he should run a good race. If it were a mile and a quarter, a mile and an eighth, I'd be a little more confident. But he's a nice horse, and no matter what he does for us on World Cup night, he's got a big future ahead of him. He's only 4 years old, and I really think highly of him.
Shima Classic for Meandra ran in the World Cup last year. So how's it been this year? Has it been a more frustrating year? You've been knocking at the door in the runs you've had so far?
Well, we got him back after he ran in the ARC, and when looking at the schedule, there was really nothing a mile and a half on the turf for him until late February. So we gave him a shot on the all-weather. He probably wasn't quite right at the time. He was probably a little bit tired still, and ran third, drew 8 of 8. Then when we finally got to a handicap race where we had a Group 1 winner in a handicap race, I think we were given 3.5 kilos to Songcraft and got beat a length and a quarter, and he was drawn 14 of 14 that night, and then came back on Super Saturday and drew 15 of 16. So he's a very nice horse who I think if things go right for him could win the race. He gets me excited, about the night, and he's one of our better chances on the night to go ahead and try to win the race. But we need to draw well with him, but he's exciting for us.
Seems like you're like might turn, because you seem like you've been dealt a
Well,
bad hand.
we've had him for 4 runs. We took him to Singapore after the World Cup last year. We drew 12 of 13, 8 of 8, 14 of 16, or 14 of 14, and 15 of 16. So anything non-double digits on World Cup night would be great. And I think if he doesn't have to expend that energy getting up and over, it could be a different thing. He might make up some of those links that he has been losing.
Well, your busy night continues with 2 sprinters. My catch, a 3-year-old taking on the old boys. It's a rarity.
Yeah, it's, I think, one of the first times here that's happened, but I kind of think he earned his place in the race. I think if you were to look for weight for age, he'd be rated around 107 or 108. He's a very nice horse. He ran well on the Tapeta over 7 furlongs in the prep for the Guineas. He was beaten head and head, given a kilo to 2 of the Godolphin horses, Emirates Flyer being one of them that's running in the Derby. So I think 6 furlongs is his optimum trip, and I know he likes the Tapeta. So it's a bit of a question mark because he is only a 3-year-old, but he's trained remarkably well all year, and I'd like to take our chance. So I think he might just have a little chance to pick up a check.
Okay, that's a big check this week. And then at the Alquoz, you've got Duck Scholar, who's obviously a more experienced campaigner.
Yeah, and he's run well since we went back to sprinting. A lot of people have been giving me grief because we were trying to go longer with him, but his form in England was over 9 and 10 furlongs, and we thought maybe that would give him a little more of a chance. And then we ran him back over 6 in that handicap, and I've never seen a horse travel throughout the race the way he did. He probably hit the front a little too soon, and Kavanaugh was able to get up and beat him, but he came back the next week and ran a very credible race. He finished in front of Soul Power and Shay Shay and Soul Power, and there's a couple other ones that look very tough in there. But if he breaks the way he has been breaking, and he's had a little 3 weeks, a little freshener, just worked out there this morning, looks great, and he just might have a chance.
Well, your enthusiasm has certainly got you got some but for you it would be huge, wouldn't it?
It would be. It would be.
You've been here. This is your 21st year here.
21st season in Dubai. 11th maybe as training, but I've been under some good people, Satish Seymour and Karen McLaughlin, and I know last year, just for local wins. I mean, last year when Satish won the sprint, I think everybody in the whole racing community here was excited, and I think I lost my voice on the first race when Irwin almost won with Versac in the Arabian race. So I think we're rooting for each other, and it'd be nice to get a local win on the board.
And to think you were driving an ambulance at the first World Cup meeting.
Yeah, I didn't have to drive it that night, but I was in the vets room screaming for Cigar that first night. My American came out at me, and I had to root for Cigar that night. But I've seen all the World Cups and been around for a while, and it'd be pretty special to win.
This place has changed, isn't it?
Yes, a lot.
Anyway, questions for Doug.
Doug, Cuctado's form in Argentina is pretty good. It's got
Yeah.
very good Group 1 form.
Yeah.
How do you feel it will stack up here against the...
I've only had him for a little over a month now, just about a month. No, about 6 weeks anyway. It looks like in years past when we were running on the dirt, they usually stacked up pretty good. It's really just a question mark of the Tapeta and how he takes to it. Like I said, we worked him a couple times across it. He looks like he likes it. He skipped across it really. But I just don't think I'll know till the night, and I wouldn't want to speculate either. I just know the only thing I can tell you is that in himself, the way he's feeling, the way he's walking onto the track, coming off the track, he's really well in himself, and if he does like the Tapeta, I think he'll run well. But there's the O'Brien horses and Ashmar who won it, and then Long John. It looks very tough. So we'd like to think we have a little bit of a chance, but I think it really comes down to how he likes the track.
You talk about that elusive win. Is it a case of you being unlucky in the past?
No, I don't think so. It's having the right horses, I believe. Green Coast was our best chance, and it was Mahmoud's first winner as a trainer here, and we just ran up against tough horse at the time, but, you know, I've run 50-to-1 shots in the World Cup before, a couple horses for Sheikh Hamdan, but really, this is just overall the best group of horses that we've had for the race. I mean, when you look at it, in my mind, maybe other people don't think so, but in my mind, with Meandre, I think if he draws well with his Group 1 form behind him, even though some of it's in Germany and stuff, which is, I think, good Group 1 form, but for me anyway, I think if he gets the right trip, he's got a big chance in the race.
Doug, no wins on Tapeta this year for you here at Meydan. A lot of wins on turf.
Yeah.
So, and you worked all your horses today on turf.
Yes.
So is it one of those that you just wait to take your chance until?
I did work through the season, some of the horses on the Tapeta. I don't come over and work every week on it, but I usually give them a work on it before they run on it. We did win with Ostad, by the way. I have one win here this year on it. But I don't know. I think, and I don't want to make excuses, I think there's an advantage to training on it every day and getting the horses used to it. I think you're using different muscles and stuff. It's a different way of going through it, and that's why we brought Kuptada over twice, just to make sure. We had brought my catch over for, I think, 2 pieces of work, actually, before it ran in the Guineas Prep. And, you know, it's, you know, Barbecue Eddie just loved the track. I mean, if you have a horse that loves it, you're in great shape. But if you have a horse that maybe just likes it, I think you just have to be on it more often and stuff, I think. But, you know, I like natural surfaces anyway, but.
Doug, you seem very bullish about Meandra's chances. It's a very hot renewal of the Sheena, though. Do you think he needs to step up to?
Oh yeah, definitely. Oh, definitely. He's got to come step up one more level. I mean, I do believe that this should be his best run of the season. You know, we had a long break from the Arc de Triomphe to the Peter race. Then we had another nice break to the first handicap race, which I thought he ran very well in, just giving away a lot of weight. Obviously, Songcraft came back and ran very well in the prep, and then we had another month in between. I think 3 weeks for him. He's raring to go. I think it's just a matter of the draw with him, and if we do get a good draw and can maybe get a little cover in the race, you know, I'm bullish on him, but I'm a trainer. I'm a little optimistic anyway, so you know, I'm hopeful of a good run.
And who do you say is the toughest to build in the race?
Well, Magician would be tough. You know, the Godolphin horses always run well. I don't know really the Japanese form, but there's a lot of good horses in the race. I just think, you know, for me, we're here. We've been training up to it, training on the course. We've had a nice preparation to it, and if he runs to his best, I think he has a chance anyway.
You've got lots of chances across the card. Which would you say is your best chance?
I would say Meandre. A couple unknowns, obviously, with My Catch, who's a really nice horse against older horses. Kuptada, first time here, running on a Tapeta. Lamario stepping back to a mile. Those are all big question marks for us. But as far as the preparation for both Duck Scholar and Meandre they've gone perfect. We know they like the trips, and so I guess those would be my best chances in my mind. I'd like a surprise somewhere, but those are the best chances, I would say. Dora?
I was just going to say, in the Alcod, where do you want to draw in that with Duck
I
Scholar?
want-
Is there a bias, do you think?
I want to draw Stan's side. I think there might be a bias, but I think this year there's only maybe 13 or 12 or 13 in it, so it might not be as big a bias this year. But I think having that rail to run against is a help, and just being drawn outside, probably in around Shay somewhere too, just to have something to go along with too. I don't know, but I wouldn't want to be drawn on the far side, which is probably where we'll get now that I said that. But.
With the way Animal Kingdom won the World Cup last year, the horse that ran well on dirt back over in the States, does that give you confidence that it could be a relatively unknown horse to be transferred on?
Well, in similarity, I guess, with Animal Kingdom a little is I think he had some of his prep races on the turf, and he did run equally, not maybe equally as well, but he did run well on the turf, and I know he trained at Fair Hill a lot, which is Tapeta, so he had a lot of work across it. But I do think turf horses run well, and we've run well on the turf with Kuptada. So, yeah, it would give me a little bit of confidence that he would run well, I guess.
With Meondra, was it always the plan to go to the Shima this time around?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, I don't. After I ran him on the Tapeta and got beat by Ralston Road and Ifraj, or I think that's his name. Yeah, I think that after that there was definitely the plan. You know, I think he's most effective over a mile and a half on the turf.